MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show. In studio with us today, we've got Jennifer DeMata. She's founder and CEO of Strata-g. And we're talking about differentiation as a way to actually position the business. And maybe that's where I'm going to start right now. I've written down a statement. You don't arrive for customer service, you stay for customer service, right? You refer because of customer service. So you don't arrive in the beginning because you've never experienced it.
Sure.
But it's what keeps you. So the retention, from a retention perspective, customer service is a brilliant strategy. But to me, there are two things that if you walk through my offices, there's a poster which has got a man walking with a ball and chain on one leg and a ball and chain on the other. And on the one, it says customer service, and the other one, it says price. Okay. Now, why is it a ball and chain? Why do you put two balls and chain to say on this caricature? Because most entrepreneurs use customer service and price as their differentiation strategy. And all the research shows it does not scale, okay? And let me explain what I mean. So it's very important what I'm about to say. It doesn't mean you should not do customer service. Because as I've said right there, customer service is what makes sure you retain clients. And to retain a client is far better than to find a client. So it is a good strategy. But I'm talking about a differentiation strategy. The second thing I asked you earlier was, how would your clients define customer service? And they would define it exactly the same way as you. Whether they do it or don't do it as well as you, well, that's debatable. But there must be somebody out there that's doing customer service, maybe not in your industry, as good or better than you. So I think the important nuance that I want to knock you off to the side is to say that I accept that customer service is incredibly important to strategy as an organization, but I should not use it as a differentiation strategy. Because what it does, it makes you, and I'm going to use the word lazy, to look for the real differentiator. Your real differentiators in a business come from core competencies. And core competencies are that. I asked you, remember the question I asked you, if you couldn't use customer service, what would you do? And you even went back to customer service in some way.
Sure.
You just redefined it in other words. But you went back there because it's your place of comfort and your place of strength. But the problem is that in the eye of the consumer, when they're looking to come to you or to come to somebody else, when you say customer service, they're going to believe it as much as the other person who says customer service. They're going to have maybe even as much cynicism around both people saying we give customer service, because even the banks tell you they're going to give you customer service. And when last did you get good customer service from a bank? So there's a lot. People are tired of that as they don't believe those words. So my challenge to you is to go back into the business with your partner and to say, okay, we have to develop 3 to 4 core competencies in the business. And what a core competency is, it's something, first of all, that you would never outsource, number one. Mm-hmm. Number 2, you want to be best in the world at it. So you would start off best in Johannesburg, best in Gauteng, best in South Africa, best in Africa, best in the world. You want to be good at this thing. You've got a competency that you're building out. Number 3, you are prepared to provide money, resources, time to that core competency. And the last important thing is that you create a department around it. So that's the definition of a core competency. So that is much harder. It's easy for me to say it. It's very hard to put together. But when I work with my investee companies, one of the first things in the first 2 to 3 months, what I work with the CEOs is to get a real a set of core competencies. Mm-hmm. Because the core competencies are the basis for USP, for unique selling proposition. Yeah. If you've got 3 or 4, and you should never have more than 4, you should never have less than 3. if you take those 3 or 4, think of them as the basic ingredients to make the cake. Okay, so you can take from pieces from this to create different product, but your product has always got these 3 or 4 things that you're so good at that you really truly are differentiated from your competitors. So I want to give you a clue where to look for those, the core competencies, because people say, okay, well, where do I start? Within your organization right now, you've got a certain set of skills, or you've got a certain client base that is coming. If you lens your client base, they're coming to you for a certain reason. That's not just customer service. Customer service is blurring you. It's like making you look there when there's another thing that they're coming to you for. It's pulling that, all the skill set, a clump of skill sets that's already in your organization, and starting there as the seed or the kernel for your core competencies. And then you're saying, okay, now it's a commitment to build this out in reality. So in my environment, as an example, one of the core competencies is selection of entrepreneurs. So we said that 20 years ago. Okay, let's go through that. Do I outsource the selection of entrepreneurs? No, internal. Do I want to be best in the world at it? Yes, I do. How do I know that? Because I've put money, time, resources, tens of millions of rands into research, software and development, pieces of software that we've developed to help us with algorithms to understand from a psychometric and other inputs to understand when one entrepreneur comes to apply to Raiz Corp versus another, that this one has got a higher probability of succeeding than that one. So we've done all that. And as the years have gone by, every year we commit more and more money to that to deepen that core competency. And do we have a department? Yes, we do have a department with a head of department, and they are in charge of doing that. So when somebody says to me, can you, what makes you different? I can say, well, our selection of entrepreneurs is different because, let me show you. Okay, here's the software, here's the research, here's the results, all from that thing. So I'm just giving you that as an example to give you the clue. But we've run out of time, so I hope I've given you, I know this is a very sensitive subject because customer service is important, and it's how you defined yourself before. But I challenge you to go back and reflect on, you can do customer service and have a core competency together. So that's
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. Great. I hope that you've accepted the challenge too. And I hope you've enjoyed today's show. And do remember, if you think it, write it down and make it a reality.
The Big Small Business Show, proudly sponsored by MTN Business.